Euro USD, we start with the daily chart. Okay. Based on daily chart, there is no much changes. Even in my last video, I explained we have two options, whether this is the start of the down move or we are expecting bigger correction, because we mentioned that maybe we expect a bigger correction, and because we expect the price can break this top, then from there maybe we get a reversal. Okay. Anyway, we have both option, and we will mostly interest in the second option. That's mean to get the bigger correction. Okay, in this case we move to lower time frame. Based on lower time frame forward chart. Okay, based on forward chart, when the price was here, we mentioned that if we want to look for buy, there is two options. The one of the option is the safest ones. Let the price break this trend line, we get the correction before we take the buy. The another option was that buying within this below the trend line. Okay, anyway, based on 1 hour chart I will explain. And for the sell, there was nothing. In this case, we move to lower time frame and we see how we could trade and what was the trade we had it. Okay, if we move to lower time frame based on 1 hour chart, when the price was above this, was within this correction, I mentioned that if we want to look for sell, let to get the bigger correction before we look for sell. And also I mentioned that as we can see the price drop, that's mean we didn't get the bigger correction, that's mean there was no sell setup. And also I mentioned that there is a possibility the price can drop with this small correction, but I recommend that if you want to look for sell, we should get the bigger correction. Anyway, there was no sell setup, or even if anyone sell from this small correction, they have a few hours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. They had the times to take out the trade, because when they see it's not moving, they should take out the trade. Okay. Anyway, we didn't have any proper sell setup, because we mentioned if we want to look for sell, we should get the bigger correction. Okay. And for the buy also, I mentioned that we have two options. One of the option is having let the price break this trend line, we get the correction. Then from there we look for sell. The price break the trend line, but still we we don't have any correction, which we call it the safest way to trade. The another one was if we want to look for buy, we buy within below this small below the trend line, because uh based on mostly we were looking for the buy. Okay. And now the things is, for buy below the trend line, we have two options. This is one and this is two. And even I highlight, if you want to buy below the trend line, the best things is we trade based on lower time frame. Okay, even based on 1 hour chart, we have two trades set up, 1 and 2. In this case, we move to lower time frame, it will be more clear. That's mean there we had two trades set up for buy. This is where the first one and the second one. Okay, anyway, now the traders, if they are in the trade, they should start to manage their trade, at least move their stop loss to break even. It depends whether they get from here or here. If they get from here, they can move their stop loss to profit. And if they get here, also depends on them. Or if they want to take out the trade, it depends on the traders. Okay, now the thing is, what's the next? Whether the price from here can continue and move higher, or still we can expect the price to drop. Okay, for me now we will remove this one, we don't need it. Okay, now the thing is, we need to look for this possibility. We have this and this. There is a possibility we will have this correction. That means the price can get one move down. Okay, that's why the traders were where the traders who they take the trade, whether they're from here or here, they have to stop. They have to manage their trades. And how high it can go, we are not sure. Is there a possibility we get one more correction for the next move up? Yeah, still there is this possibility, but we need to bear in mind, maybe we will have this correction in relative to this for the next move down. Okay, now if this is the correct one, how we can trade it? We don't have any sell setup from here. The only way, whether from here or if the price move higher, the only way we can trade, let the sharp move give a correction or a small flag before we take the sell. Okay, that's mean right now we don't have any sell setup. The only thing is we need to wait and see whether we can get the proper trade setup within from here or even the price move higher. If yes, as I explained, then we can take the trade. That means we can look for sell. This is how we can look for sell. based on these two move. And do we need to look for buy? All right, for the buy, again, still, if we get a correction here, it depends whether we get a similar to what we have here, a small correction. Also, we can look for buy. If we get the small correction, we consider as a short-term buy. That means as long as we get into the profit, we start to manage it. And how about if we get a bigger correction? If we get a bigger correction, can give us a better trade for buy. But anyway, we don't have any trade set up, whether for buy or sell. And mostly, I think we will get one move down before the price can move up. That means still we can go with this option. That means there is a possibility the price to get one move down. That's why if we get any correction from here for the buy setup, as long as we get into the profit, we start to manage it. And to buy from here, we need to get the buy setup before we take the buy. Okay? Again, because of the possibility of this correction. Okay? Anyway, we don't have any trade setup. The only thing is we need to wait and see what we will get from here. Whether we get the buy setup or the price can drop. In this case, we don't have any trade setup. We just follow the chart, and if I see any changes or update, I will share on YouTube. Thanks.